Welcome to our next video in AutoCAD introduction. In this video, we're going to be taking a good look at what's called an object snap. This is going to be our first of two videos on object snaps. The word snap in AutoCAD means to grab onto or to locate to. And an object snap means it's a location point onto an object, such as an endpoint, a midpoint, a center of a circle, a quadrant of a circle, which would be the north, south, east, and west edges of the circle, and many, many different things. Our object snap control area is down here. And it looks like a little square with a green dot. And you can turn your object snaps on or on and off just by making it blue or white. That's off and that's on. Most of the time you want this command on, but there's times you're going to want to turn it off when you're trying to draw on things. And it keeps automatically snapping to parts that you don't want to. We can also choose which object snaps we want to have automatically activated. So there's a little menu down here, that little arrow provides this menu, and these are all of the basic object snap settings that you can choose. I tend to leave endpoint, midpoint, center, intersection, perpendicular on. I usually don't have nearest on all the time. You can see I can turn any of these automatics on or off. Sometimes intersection can be a little annoying too. This endpoint and intersection pretty much get me the same thing most of the time. So these 4 or 5 constant object snaps are really handy, and there are times to turn on and off these other object snaps depending on what you're doing. So let's get to it. Let's demonstrate kind of how object snaps work. I can just close that menu. So let's say I want to draw a line from the end point of this line to the center of this circle. So I'm just going to choose my line command with a left click, specify the first point of the line, and I'm going to go from there. Now, if you look, that lights up. When that green lights up, it connects the endpoint of my new line to my intended object snap, and it connects it perfectly. There's no overlap, and there's no nearby. There's no kind of close. It is perfect and exact to the smallest measurable detail. So I click onto the end point of that line, and it's good enough to be close. As soon as that green box lights up, I'm there. And then I'm going to come to the center of this circle. Same thing. It's not close to the center of the circle. It's not about at the center of the circle. It is absolutely precisely and perfectly to the center of that circle, to the smallest measurable detail. Let me show you what I mean. I'm going to turn my object snaps off. I'm going to draw a line from the end point of this line to the center, back to the center of the circle. Draw a line, and no object snap on there, but I'm going to get as close as I can get. And then I'm going to get as close as I can get here. And enter. So, if I were to zoom in on this corner right here, you can zoom in even a little bit. You can start to see the gap where I missed. It's kind of close. And close by zooming in. Eventually, I get so close that the gap is unusable. It's unavoidable. That's where I mean. However, if I go back up to this one where I used an object snap, and I zoom in on it, and zoom in on it, and zoom in on it, and zoom in on it, keep zooming in on it, no matter how close I get to this, it's going to show me the same perfect corner. So right now I'm zoomed in so far that the computer, this is no measurable distance in the computer's default settings. We're talking about microns of distance in this drawing plane right now. But the more I back out, every time I back out, I am still backing out, still backing out, still backing out, backing out. And I'm back to my object, and there's no discernible difference in this corner. That's how precise object snap is. Same thing when we get to here. This line right here is connected to the center of that circle. And I can zoom in on the end of that line, it'll never change, but this one will keep getting farther and farther and farther away because this is off the mark. So what I'm getting at is in AutoCAD, you can't be close or just about or nearly anything. You need to use object snaps in order to have things exactly where they need to be. Okay, so that's the introduction to object snaps video. I'm going to show you object snaps now in combination with some copy, move, and rotate commands.